Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Funny that I'm unboxing Sci-Fi right after some Ghostbusters stuff, because when I was a kid, this figure was eventually turned into the Ghostbuster on the Joe team. Him and Airtight were both Ghostbusters on my Joe team. So it just kind of lined up. I loved that figure when I was a kid. The bright green was awesome. The silver was awesome. The color palette was really good. I liked the update on Flash as the laser trooper because he, by 1986, this is what a laser trooper in my head would look like. So love this figure. He was one of my regulars in my play patterns. Always sent out on the missions. And then, of course, in the cartoon, which we have reviewed on Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I think the episode was called My Brother's Keeper, with Sergeant Slaughter and Sci-Fi teaming up to go to a science fiction convention, which, of course, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? We find out that Sci-Fi... Well, it may have been in his file card, which I have not looked at in many, many years, but Sci-Fi is a science fiction nerd. More on that in a minute. So the renders that we saw of him were very exciting to me. It looked like this is, I talk about how my ideal classified version is one that has been updated with detail and perhaps technology, but that is easily recognizable as the original character. And I think they've really, really nailed that here, especially with these two attachments for the helmet. One that's just a visor and one that's a full faceplate. And they both look awesome, and it's going to be difficult. Well, we'll see what they look like on the figure, but as far as the renders and product shots, they look awesome. And I think I might have a tough time deciding which one I'm going to display. So take a look at the figure first. And this is one where they've essentially recreated the original look, but just upped the detail. You can see that chest piece, very similar. They went with a black here instead of the green, which I like. Even as a kid, I never loved that this was green. It felt weird to me that his coveralls or whatever, fatigues, I don't know, his suit, this padding shouldn't necessarily coordinate with that. I just remember noticing it and thinking it was odd when I was a kid. So I do like that they've gone in and put this darker color on those spots. He's not as bright and classified, which I'm okay with, because if you take this figure away, standing on the classified shelf, he is still going to be a very bright green compared to other things in that line. They got the detail on the inside of the trousers. It just looks great. This is a fantastic update. This is exactly the kind of thing I want. And I'm just now noticing he has got, let's take a look at that portrait. He's got a little Flavor Saver deco going on there. Good portrait. Looks like a nerdy fellow to me. Hair looks great. Looks unique. The combination of really just the chest piece and the knee pads that are molded in silver plastic, they do stand out as looking kind of cheap compared to the painted silver in the other spots. But I do appreciate that we have several colors of silver, so it's not like these needed to match the other parts. Like it does feel like, oh, well, this is 3 different silvers, as opposed to this is supposed to match this, which it does not. So that's good. And I also like the fact that these are, if you can see, these are plugged into the knees and permanently attached, but rather than making the whole knee silver and then having that ugly silver back here that some of the other figures have had, that's a separate little piece. So well done on that. I've got the little guard right here that looks good, but is high enough up to not really mess with the ankle articulation as much as you might expect. Plastic feels great, but again, we're still apparently in an era of classified where we're not having really issues with articulation or soft plastic on the figure itself, or too rigid a plastic. And all the detailing on this suit is really nice. The pocket, this whatever this little doodad is here, I've got a little black schmutz on the shoulder that looks like it's going to wipe right off. The chest plate silver does look a little better than the knee silver, but I do still wish they were both painted. Love this little pouch on the side with a little doodad in it. All those little bits and pieces that were in the, I guess, 85, 86, certainly 86 and later Joes. These little things like this I really appreciated. Thought they were cool. And again, we have, rather than a separate belt piece, we have a new and unique crotch overlay, which I prefer. I know some don't, but this is so much better to me than a loose belt that's wiggling all over the figure. So base figure is just really cool. All this black in here, just excellent, excellent job on this one. So let's take a look at the accessories. We've got his backpack, which keeps the spirit of the original one, but the color has changed, which I agree with, because again, just like these panels on the front of his chest, his backpack being green it's weird. Look, I love the figure, but it's kind of weird. I like the updated black and silver backpack, and especially that silver paint on it looks great. So let's plug have I got his backpack on upside down? I might. Is that how that's supposed to go? I guess it is, because look, that now this clips on over here, which is also very Ghostbustery. You know, as a kid, I had it the other way always. But I guess that's how it's supposed to be. And I'm sure it's like that on the card art, and I just never really looked or noticed. Huh. So clearly that is not correct. The backpack does not fit. It almost seems a little undersized, doesn't it? Like, not terrible, but it could stand to be just a little bit bigger than it is. It does plug in nicely. And I was going to say something about how it's not contoured to his back, but it is a little bit. It actually does have a shape to it and looks pretty good attached. We've got the hose that we have seen before, but there's no reason, especially for something like this, no reason not to reuse it. But it is interesting that they designed this hole, because this, typically what we have and what we've got on his rifle is something that plugs into that hole. But here they sculpted just a large hole on the backpack that the hose plugs into. I like that they kind of looking at things like that, thinking about it differently. Like, well, wait, we don't need a peg coming out of the backpack. We can do that in a different way. Rifle looks very cool, very reminiscent of the original. Just with added detail. I dig this readout here. What does this say? Target locked. Very cool. Tons of sculpted detail. Looks really, really good. But again, that painted detail, that silver and then that gold on the screen right there, the readout. Just nice touch. Looks awesome. Of course, that's going to plug in right there. Get the finger in that trigger guard. Yep. Just like almost every classified figure. Fits in there perfectly. And then his wrist is an up-down hinge, although it's very loose. And then we've got our laser blast effect here, which is 2 pieces. So you can have man, look at the shape of this. It almost looks like down the road we might see like a laser sword using this piece. But it's got this kind of energy burst ball that you can put on there, which I think looks pretty killer. Or if you don't care for that, then you can just put this piece in there. I don't know that I'll display either of them on the shelf, but I think it's a cool extra that they put in here. Now let's check out this helmet and see how it fits. Looks like it's a little smooshed. And like the chest piece and the knee pads, it is that Hasbro metallic plastic rather than being painted. So I don't love that. But I will say on him, it looks better than it does on a lot of the figures. Or less noticeable, or seems more right. I don't know. I don't know quite what it is, but it's not as offensive on him as it is on some of the others. So there is the helmet with no faceplate. And I don't know which way this is supposed to go in. So we have a little trial and error here. Oh, wait. I think there's a little bit of a divot for the nose. Yep, there sure is. There's a little divot for the nose there. So it goes in this way. Oh, and it's got an angle also. So hopefully that'll plug right in. Oh, yeah, that's great. Man, that's really cool. That's really cool. So that's like the original look. Like there. The RoboCop look, if you will. And then we've got the full faceplate, which looks so cool in the renders and product shots. But I hate to cover up his portrait because it looks so good. But man, that's really cool too. Like that's, when I was a kid, I would have loved that. It's one of the reasons I like Cobra Commander version 4. That's really awesome. I don't know which of these looks I'm going to display. Probably just the visor, because I do tend to keep things a little more OG. But both looks are cool. And I love the thought of that, the addition of, hey, let's throw a full faceplate in there. How cool is that? And the answer is, it's very cool. So there he is, Sci-Fi, ready for the shelf. He's great. Great figure. Great update, great adaptation of the original. Super thrilled with this one. Retro card back. Sure, they could do another one that's brighter and has the green here. I think we've gotten to a point where we can recognize there's always the opportunity for a retro card back, but I don't ever need another Sci-Fi. This is fantastic. Excellent job from Hasbro. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And until next time, now he can't really get his arm up there, but I'm okay with that. Yo, Joe.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.